what happens in cellular respiration, the main reason why we want to make energy. And respiration, of course, is the intake of oxygen to break down organic compounds to give energy. So our main focus here is how the body or how the cell utilizes energy or makes energy to carry out cellular activities. So we are looking at respiration at the cellular level, how organisms take in and break organic compounds to form energy. Now, the food we eat, like normal rice, beans, and things like that, they contain energy, and that energy is stored in organic form, in form of like our carbohydrate, our protein, our fat, and they are all organic compounds. Our body takes in these organic compounds, break them down, and they release energy. And part of those energy are used to produce ATP. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is the energy currency of the body. What the body uses as its energy. Your body will not just use the rice that you eat like that. For instance, another you still have to pass out some waste. What your body will use as energy is ATP. So your body breaks down organic compounds to get ATP. Now, from photosynthesis, I'll just give an overall reaction of that. From photosynthesis, a plant or an autotroph, a photosynthetic plant, converts light energy into chemical energy, and that energy is also stored in form of organic compound. Of course, we eat that plant, that food. That energy is stored in form of organic compound, which is broken down to give ATP. So let's say, for instance, now we have our photosynthesis. Through the process of photosynthesis, then by autotrophs. They use sunlight. Right? They convert sun energy into chemical energy. They use sunlight and CO2 in presence of water. Now, what happens is that autotrophs use photosynthesis to produce what? Organic compounds. Organic compounds. And these organic compounds, they are taken in by also autotrophs and heterotrophs, whereby they use cellular respiration to break this organic compound back to give us CO2 and H2. So we have our cellular respiration. Through cellular respiration, so you can see that. So from photosynthesis, we get this compound. Then our cellular respiration, that's heterotrophs and autotroph also. They use that and they give it and they use it to form CO2 and water. So you can see that from this reaction, you can see that the reactant of photosynthesis, which is CO2 and water, is acting as a product for cellular respiration. So photosynthetic organisms or autotrophs, they take in sunlight, convert light energy into chemical energy, and that chemical energy is stored in the form of organic compounds, which is taken in or used by cellular respiration in both heterotrophs and autotrophs, to make energy for themselves or for other cellular activities. But today our main focus will be how organisms make use of these organic compounds to form CO2 and H2. Of course, along the line they release what? ATP. ATP is being released. And this is what? Energy currency of the cell. Energy currency. Okay, so that's that for that. So the next thing we'll be looking at is the different kind of cellular respiration we have. We have two different kinds of cellular respiration based on don't forget I described respiration as the intake of oxygen to break down organic compounds. So but now at the cellular level, it's defined, it's broken down into aerobic and anaerobic, and we use the intake of oxygen, whether the presence of oxygen, whether there is oxygen present or there is no oxygen present, to determine whether it will be aerobic or anaerobic. For the aerobic, we are going to be requiring oxygen to break down organic compounds. While for the anaerobic, look at the word aerobic, it's just for you to remember air. You need air, oxygen to break down and for the anaerobic we don't need oxygen. So as for instance now, just like you are watching me now, you are just on your own, you are breathing in oxygen, then the oxygen you are taking in is going down, breaking down glucose in your body, stored glucose in your body to give you energy that you can even use to watch me. So that's for the aerobic. So you are just a normal, you are taking in oxygen. And for the anaerobic, you might be like, is there a point that I don't need oxygen to respirate? Yes, there can be some points like that, in the sense that when you are running, for instance, and maybe you are running and you just stop, you see those athletes, they start breathing, like they want to take in much more oxygen. At that point is because the oxygen has been depleted and the intake of oxygen is very low. So the body now switches to anaerobic form of respiration to produce energy. And those are the two major things we are going to be looking at. So we said the type of cellular respiration that we have is divided into, we have the aerobic and what anaerobic. So this one, the presence of oxygen, no oxygen required. So that's the major difference between the aerobic and the anaerobic form of respiration. Now we are mentioning organic compounds, we are breaking down organic compounds to give us energy. The organic compound we are going to be studying today is glucose. Where how we break down glucose to give us energy, how the body breaks down that glucose. And the breakdown of glucose, from the name breakdown of glucose, is called glycolysis. It's called glycolysis. Or some people call it glycolysis, anyhow you want to call it. So the glyco, of course, means your glucose, that's sweet, and the lysis means breakdown, splitting. So we are splitting glucose, we are breaking it down to give us energy. So don't forget, the major point of what we are doing in this cellular respiration, what we want to achieve, is how we want to extract energy, or how we want to form energy. And I said the energy currency for the cell is ATP. Your body will not just take in glucose and use it like that. To break glucose down, then ATP will be used to carry out other cellular activities. So what is glycolysis? Glycolysis is the breakdown of oxygen, of glucose, a 6 carbon molecule. A 6 carbon molecule into 2 carbon and 3 carbon molecules. So we have glucose, glycolysis. We are breaking down glucose. A 6 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are breaking it down into a 3 carbon molecule, and that 3 carbon molecule is called a pyruvate. Pyruvate. Or pyruvic acid, let's put it down. Pyruvic acid, same thing. And that pyruvic acid, or 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, is a 3 carbon molecule. So glucose is being broken down into pyruvic acid. 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. 1 molecule of glucose is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, a 3 carbon molecule, and it is enhanced by enzymes. It's an enzymatic reaction whereby at each step we use enzyme to break down glucose till we get this. So I'll just use our analogy of anaerobic and aerobic respiration. So what happens in aerobic respiration is that at this particular stage now, we want to produce energy now. Let me show you. We want to produce energy, and from our glucose, if you break down glucose into pyruvate, we are also going to look at the mechanism inside here, how we produce or how we get pyruvic acid. But inside, from glucose to our pyruvic acid, we only have 2 ATP. Bulk of the ATP is formed when pyruvic acid is further broken down into another pathway. That's called the Krebs cycle. So it depends on the condition whether there is oxygen present or there is no oxygen present. So for instance, if we have oxygen present, let's say for this one here, there is oxygen. Excuse me. O2 present. What happens is that pyruvic acid enters another pathway called the Krebs cycle. Where more ATP is released and the total net ATP there is 6 ATP. So pyruvic acid enters the Krebs cycle and release much more ATP for us, for our body to use, or for the cell to carry out other cellular activities. But for let's say oxygen is not present. When oxygen is not present, what happens? When O2 not present, and this will be what? Anaerobic. Our pyruvic acid will be going to what? Lactate, fermentation. Fermentation, it can either be lactate or alcohol. So we can have any of those two. So but at this stage here, there is no ATP produced. No ATP. But here, when there is oxygen and normal respiration, when we are breathing, we produce much more ATP for our aerobic respiration. For the anaerobic respiration, there is no more ATP produced. It just stops at the fermentation. So let's now go into details. What happens from glucose to pyruvic acid? What happens? How do we break down glucose? How do we get pyruvic acid? Before going into either Krebs cycle or before going into fermentation, depending on the presence of oxygen, whether oxygen is present or not, and that will be the anaerobic or the aerobic. So let's go into details of what happens in glycolysis. In glycolysis, like I said before, we are breaking down a 6-carbon molecule into two 3-carbon molecule. A 6-carbon molecule, we are breaking it down into 3-carbon molecule 2. So the first thing that happens is that we are going to activate glucose for it to go down into our body. For instance, like if you, let's say something about let me just mention some fact about glycolysis. First of all, it occurs in the cytosol. Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol. So in contrast to cytosol, so that you understand what I'm trying to say, in contrast to cytosol, other parts will occur in the mitochondria, but for the glycolysis it occurs in the cytosol. Where is the cytosol? The liquid part of the cell. For example, you just have let's say you have your cell. Let's say you have your cell like this, your nucleus, your mitochondria, and this is your nucleus. So this liquid part is called the cytosol, and that's where glycolysis takes place, in the cytosol, in contrast to other pathway that takes place in the mitochondria. So another thing is that it does not require oxygen. It does not require oxygen. So glycolysis does not require oxygen to break down, but it's after it's reached pyruvate or pyruvic acid that we can now determine whether it's going to further break down to give us much more energy, or it's going to go into fermentation, the lactic acid fermentation or the alcohol fermentation. We're going to look at the difference between that as we get down. So these are the two major things about glycolysis. And the last one is that it's also a two-way reaction: energy yielding and energy consuming stage. If you don't want to cram that, you can just take it as my own words as borrow and pay. Let me put it that way: borrow and pay back. I will explain what I mean. If you don't want to use that, you can use energy yielding and energy consuming stage. So in the sense that in glycolysis, don't forget our major goal is that we want to break down glucose to get ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. But in the process of glycolysis, we are going to borrow ATP to break down glucose at first. So at the end of the reaction, we are now going to get much more ATP. Then we will now pay back. That's why I use the word borrow and pay for glycolysis. So we'll take it just like you want to your just like a profit and loss. You take it, maybe somebody borrowed you 2 naira to start a business. You have 2 naira to start business. Then at the end you made 4 naira as a profit. So at the end, your net profit will be what? It will be 4 minus 2, right? That's 2 naira. So that's what is happening in our glycolysis. We borrow 2 ATP, then so we are going to look at where those 2 ATP were borrowed and where ATP was also produced. So don't forget, glycolysis occurs in the cytosol. It does not require oxygen, and it's a borrow and pay back reaction. We borrow and we pay back what we have borrowed. Automatically, don't worry, your body cannot take in and not pay back. So we'll take a break and we'll come back and look at the whole mechanism that is involved in glycolysis.